What's up, you guys, and welcome back to another episode of the Done in One Weekly Update. I'm your host, RJ, and as always, I'm here to keep you in the know on everything real estate and more in the fabulous city of Vegas. This week, we have some pretty interesting topics to discuss. First, we'll be talking about the fires that have impacted Southern Cali. We'll break down who was affected and how it applies to the real estate market. Then we'll dive into some market updates for January 2025 and explore the latest trends in the market. Then finally, we'll wrap it up with everything happening in Vegas through this weekend. January 17th through 19th is going to be a pretty fun weekend, so let's make the most of it while you're here.
You're listening to the Done in One Realty Podcast, your source for real estate information and more. Be sure to visit us online at doneinonerealty.com. Now, let's dive into this episode.
First up, we have to unfortunately talk about the wildfires that have been taking a massive toll on the environment and California. They destroyed almost 12,000 structures in Southern California and displaced thousands and thousands of families. Communities in areas like San Bernardino, Palisades, and Malibu have been hit, and many residents there lost almost everything. First, for the homeowners that were affected, it's really important you get somewhere safe and find somewhere to stay. That should be your number one and most immediate priority. Then you should try to contact your insurance provider to understand what type of coverage you have and if you have fire coverage at all. Definitely try to stay informed about the rebuilding timelines, as delays could happen and things could happen to really postpone that. So find somewhere safe to stay until then. There are also many shelters and communities that are helping people find housing during this time. I know that even a few Las Vegas hotels like Treasure Island and Prim are offering pretty heavily discounted rates for those that were displaced for the fire. So definitely take advantage of that if you were affected. And if you weren't affected, try to share this just around your community so hopefully it reaches the people that actually need this. Now, as time goes on, we are seeing an increased interest from Californians looking to relocate to more stable and affordable regions. Vegas is a top choice for them. We've seen thousands and thousands of Californians move here over the last few years, and there's just more coming. This influx of residents could change our housing market, increasing demand and potentially driving up prices in some of the key neighborhoods. Now, for buyers, it's really important. This whole situation really highlights the importance of having a good insurance from your home. Unfortunately, many homes that were lost in the fire were not fire insured. So that means the homeowners unfortunately lost a lot, more than just their tangible items. For a buyer, understanding what type of insurance you have and also what type of insurances are offered is extremely important. Like California has the FAIR plan, which is in place just to help out houses that are in high-risk areas. Now, overall, we hope that everyone is safe and everyone finds a new home soon. All right, now let's switch gears a bit and talk about the housing market in Vegas. As we enter the new year, the housing market is kicking off with some pretty steady activity. So let's break it down and introduce the key things that you need to know, along with some helpful tips if you're thinking of buying or selling right now. Now, the median home price in Las Vegas is holding steady at around $475,000, which marks a slight increase from last month, which is good. And projections also show a 5% increase throughout the year. Interest rates are hovering at around 7 to 7.5% for a 30-year fixed mortgage. Now, that's pretty high. It's actually the highest they've been since May of 2024. Now, for many buyers, this means the monthly payment is unfortunately going to be higher, but there are a few ways to make the numbers work and get a little creative with your financing options in order to combat the high interest rate. Specifically, we are going to talk about the 2-to-1 temporary buy-down and an adjustable rate mortgage, or an ARM. Now, if you're looking to lower your initial monthly payments, this is where a 2-to-1 temporary buy-down comes in. How it works is a 2-to-1 temporary buy-down works by reducing your mortgage interest rate in the first 2 years of your loan. So in the first year, the interest rate is reduced by 2% from the agreed upon rate. So if you have a 7% rate, your first year, you're only going to be paying 5% interest. In the second year, the rate is going to be reduced by 1%, meaning you're going to be paying 6% in year 2. And by the third year, you're going to be back up to that 7%. Now, this structure helps buyers ease into their mortgage payments by lowering their monthly cost for the first couple of years. It's a great way to save money up front when interest rates are high, allowing you to adjust the payments before they go back to full price. This can be especially helpful if you plan on refinancing, moving, or just paying off the loan before the full rate kicks in. And it's definitely something to consider if you're looking to buy a house with the high mortgage rate right now. Next up, let's talk about an adjustable rate mortgage, or an ARM. That's another option to consider when mortgaging a house. It helps keep your payments lower in the early years, and it's just something to look into overall. Now, what is it? Well, unlike the fixed rate mortgage, where your interest rate stays the same for the life of the loan, an ARM typically has an interest rate that changes periodically. So normally, you'll start with a lower interest rate for an initial time period, and then it'll adjust based on the current market conditions. An example of this would be with a 7-to-1 ARM. The 7 means your rate is fixed for the first 7 years, and after that, it will adjust annually It'll adjust annually, with the 1 meaning it changes once a year based on a lot of specific factors in the market. So your payment could go up or down depending on how interest rates change in the market. ARMs could be a pretty smart choice if you don't plan to stay in the home for long, or even if you're really good at anticipating interest rates. If those interest rates drop, that means you will be saving money after a few years. It's also just a good option to have if you're comfortable with the possibility of the rates adjusting, but you want to take advantage of that lower initial rate. For buyers, all of these options mean it could give you a little bit of breathing room in the first few years of mortgaging a house. And if you're in the selling market, offering incentives like a temporary buy down could make your home more appealing to buyers who are concerned about the higher interest rates. Buyers are always looking for flexibility, and offering a little bit of help with the financing can make or break a deal. Now, let's talk about some fun events happening in Vegas this weekend. Now, whether you're a local or you're just visiting, there's quite literally always something somewhere to do in this city. First up is sports. We have the Golden Knights. They have a great team this year. They're playing January 18th at the T-Mobile Arena. Their games are a lot of fun. Even if you're not a hockey lover, these games are super exciting. I didn't like hockey until I went to my first Knights game, and now I follow them through every season. Now, for those who are looking for a more comedic route, Kevin Hart is performing stand-up at the Cosmo on Friday, January 17th. Kevin Hart, everybody knows him. He's super iconic, and he is someone I would definitely try to see if you're in Vegas this weekend. Now, if you're looking for something more laid back, more relaxing, on January 19th, there is a farmer's market at the Uncommons. And if you're more laid back, that is definitely something for you. So no matter what you're doing this weekend, whether you're visiting or a local, Las Vegas has something for you this weekend. And that's a wrap for this week's episode of the Done in One Weekly Update. Again, we covered the impact of the recent fires. We gave you a January 2025 market update, and just shared some great ideas for you if you're looking to enjoy the upcoming weekend. If you enjoyed today's episode, please like and subscribe, and even leave us a comment or two with your questions or suggestions for future topics. Remember, you can always visit us at doneinonerealty.com for more resources and to connect with our team. Thank you guys for tuning in, and we'll see you next week.
Thanks so much for joining us on this episode of the Done in One Realty podcast. If you're enjoying the show, please feel free to rate, subscribe, and leave a review wherever you listen to your podcasts so others can find the show too. And if you're looking to buy or sell in the Las Vegas, Nevada area, we're here to provide real estate reimagined with a simple 1% flat fee. Visit us online at doneinonerealty.com or give us a call today at 702-754-3100. Until the next episode.